My name is Marty Wynn, and I wear a lot of different hats as an entrepreneur. I'm a CEO of a technology firm. Also, I'm highly invested in real estate. I own a sports and entertainment firm in professional boxing, and I'm Senior Vice President of a multi-level marketing Inc. 500 company.
Hello, I'm Isra Wynn. I'm a 5-time world boxing champion. I'm a nutrition consultant and a conditioning coach. I'm also an author, a mother, and a wife. I've also been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Don't you forget it. And you're watching All About the Wynn's.
Everyday hustle. Today we have a meeting in multi-level marketing. As you guys know, we're involved in an Inc. 500 company where we show individuals how to actually experience free enterprise. So today we're going to go out and address some of the audience and being able to become a part of what we're involved in. So I want you guys to really take heed and take your life to the next level.
Today's meeting is called a BOM, which is called a Business Opportunity Meeting. This is the portion of the actual meeting that they bring the senior vice presidents and the platinum senior vice president up to the front of the room to address the crowd and the guests that are in the house. I was a professional athlete, and it's hard being a professional athlete, I'm telling you. You have to work extra hard every single day. You got to work out when you don't want to work out, but this business came to us, me and my husband, 4 years ago, actually almost 5 years ago, and it was a blessing. A lot of you are here for a reason. God brought you here for a reason, to give you a blessing. Don't pass over your opportunity. A lot of times, I was the skeptical spouse, the one who said, you know what, I'm here to support you, but I got my own things to do. So when I finally took a look at it really seriously and understood exactly what we were doing, like Ian said, it just made sense. We're paying these bills anyway. Why not get a piece of it? A lot of you are sitting here on the fence. You don't know whether or not to get in or not. Get involved if it makes sense. Because if you don't make a decision and you walk out this door and in 5 or 10 years from now you see on CNN, we've gone public, you're going to kick yourself that you're going to remember this day. Sitting here in these seats when you could have made that decision to say, you know what, I'm going to do this and I'm going to win at this, regardless. I didn't know what I was doing when we first got started. My husband didn't know what we were doing. And we still didn't know what we were doing when we hit SVP. But we just took that risk and said, what if? What if this works? Weigh the potential versus the investment. Thank you.
One of the reasons I got into multi-level marketing is that a lot of multi-millionaires have come out of this industry. When I think about industries such as boxing or .com companies, those are things I was used to, but to be able to get into this company for a short 5 years ago, knowing that it's an Inc. 500 company, knowing it's free enterprise, and more importantly, it paid a residual income, I was very excited about that. More importantly, I speak a lot about calculated risk. Calculated risk is just a low investment with a high return. I've been into so many things. I've promoted Mike Tyson, I've promoted Layla Ali, and those things never cost me the amount of money that it cost me to get into multi-level marketing. So I got into this company of free enterprise and multi-level marketing, and before you know it, as you can see, we're now residual income earners that pay us every 30 days whether we get out of bed or not. How you guys doing? Great. How many guests do we have by show of hands? Let's give it up to the guests. You guys, because you guys can be anywhere tonight. You chose to be with us, so that means a lot to a lot of us business partners and senior VPs and platinums. But you guys are in a special place right now. Okay, how many of you guys really honestly sick and tired of being sick and tired? You really need something different, need more income. I got involved in this deal, like my wife said 5 years ago. I wasn't skeptical because I seen his check. Okay? And although it was his check, he done something prior than what I did. So I said, if he can do something, he can teach you, yes or yes. Yes. And so I got involved, guys, and we got involved, we hit the ground, and in this paper just running. And my goal was this: how do I get to senior vice president? Yes, you got to go through ET and ED and national director, but my goal was to get to senior vice president. And what these guys did for me and my wife did less than our growing pains. Everything about life is about a calculated risk. You have to take some form of risk to have some form of success. And if you fail, it's okay. That's just your learning curve. So get involved, guys. Don't walk out this door paying these cell phone bills. and the internet, and DirecTV. Although you ain't got time to watch TV, you still pay it. Right? Just make a conscious decision to get paid on the services. Does it make sense? Yeah. All right, so let's go to work. Now, the thing I love most about multi-level marketing, as I first mentioned, guys, that is residual income. Most people look at their job and think, you know, hey, the job is going to sustain me, but really the job is the pyramid. You know, most of America, about 3%, if not 2.5% of Americans are making millions of dollars, you know, over $100,000 a year. But then there's the other 98% that are going to these jobs, and these jobs every day are being lost simply because that's the pyramid. If you fall into the slump of a budget and surround your life around that budget, then you'll fall prey to modern slavery when it comes to a job. So my goal today, guys, is just to teach individuals about free enterprise and get them off the job and start actually creating jobs.
This is Isra Wynn here with you guys again. We are at the DC Convention Center. My main men, Jerry Odom and Kevin Rivers, are fighting tonight. It's a professional fight going on. If you could tell by the ring behind me, we are in shape, all of us. Not just Jerry and Kevin, but myself as well.
Peep that. Got the Lord on my side, baby.
Physically and mentally, they are ready for this fight, and I cannot wait for you guys to see them blow away their opponents.
Well, Jerry Odom is super middleweight, 168, hell of a fighter, a lot of conditioning, a lot of confidence in what he do. I haven't seen a kid like this in a long time. Actually, he's gonna fight a gentleman from New Orleans. I don't know who this kid is. I just know that this kid's talking a lot of trash at the win, and he's about to get punished. You ready to fight? You ready to fight now? Now, Jerry's trainer is a gentleman that I have a lot of respect for. I've known him for many, many years. He's actually trained Isra in her final years of promotion.
Bernard Roach, best trainer, mentally and physically. He attacks your mind.
One thing I love about Bernard Roach is that he loves his fight. He's very passionate about the sport. He's very passionate about the fighters. He's not in it for the money. He really cares about the kids. He understands boxing once because he was in boxing. So again, it goes back to saying, if you could do something, you could teach it. So these guys are following his system. They're gonna do exactly what he says do. And trust me, he has multiple years of being exactly the best trainer that you could ever get.
Blue and white trunks. He weighed in, ready for ring war, 169.8 pounds. As an amateur, he captured a national title, earning the most prestigious single award in the 2012 Golden Glove Tournament, the Golden Boy Trophy for most outstanding boxer. He is now 1-0 as a pro. That victory coming by way of knockout homegrown. Hailing from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jerry, the King Son Odom. Billy Johnson with the following sponsors.
Understand, my wife trained these guys. She gives them conditioning, she gives them nutrition, but she gives them something that's not on the market, and that's called Isroids. Isroids is nothing more than just a steroid, but it's a natural steroid. It's something that she implements in their mind. It's not even a pill, it's a liquid. And the liquid is what comes out her mouth into their brain. So let's see if the Isroids kick in.
Don't blink because it might be a knockout.
Okay, the last fight I walked in on it and I was like, hello? He just butted him, his nose is bleeding and they called it in.
You didn't believe me, did you? You must have blinked. It's over already.
This bout has been declared a no contest. No contest due to accidental headbutt. Very first few seconds of the first round. 16 seconds.
Accidental headbutt. Things happen in boxing. No contest. Fight is over.
God damn, man.
One thing we must understand about boxing, guys, that you don't play boxing. This is not basketball, this is not football, this is boxing. This is a contact sport. You expect to get hurt sometimes in the sport. So I'm a little pissed that this referee stopped this fight.
If this was the Pacquiao fight, they wouldn't have stopped it. Too much money invested in that.
After the fight, the ref did come to me and explain to me exactly what was going on in the Jerry Odom fight. Because, you know, with me, I'm a very hard stickler on these fighters and making sure they're treated fairly.
You can see the meat. What's the big? Hey, Billy. God damn.
Like right here above the eyebrow.
Right.
It looked like it's coming this way, but it's cutting across and going down.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Once the ref got out the ring and came to me and explained everything to me, you know, we don't want these kids to get hurt in the ring, so it was actually a great stoppage. Kudos to the ref, good stoppage, great job. It's time for Isra and I to go over and really check on Jerry, because last I looked at Jerry when he got out the ring, he had like a growing hematoma on his head, so we gotta go check on him, see, make sure he's okay.
Hey everybody, we're here with Jerry Odom. He just went in the ring and got out of the ring in 16 seconds. So, how you feeling about this fight?
Upset.
It was a headbutt. The other guy got cut and they stopped the fight. So all the hard work went right out the window, but he was ready. That's what happened. He was ready. So how was the headbutt? For the first time as a pro, how did you feel?
Headbutts, they hurt very bad. They hurt.
I know that. Did you feel good in there?
Yeah, I felt good.
Yeah.
I'm on Isroids, man.
That's what we call it, Isroids. He was on my Isroids for training, so he was in shape, he was ready. You know, second fight, you know, stuff happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now you know?
Yeah.
So, tell everybody, you know, what's going on through your head right now? Were you ready for the next one? You can fight in like in a week right now.
I was ready, man. I was prepared mentally. I was just focused. I was tuned up for the fight, and just ready to destroy it, man. Whatever was in my way.
I know that's right. He was ready. I could see it in his eyes when he was, you know, practicing. I tell you that those eyes, he was zoned out, ready for that fight. I'm telling you, it's another thing when you get in those four corners. So, well, congratulations on your no contest.
Thanks.
Hopefully next time. Okay. You know, back to the drawing boards and do it up again. All right.
This is my man Norm. Look at video, right? No man, listen. Got into boxing, professional boxing. I don't know if he ever really officially retired, but you know, if he ain't retired, we can always bring him back. You know we retired. He retired. Look. Yeah. Some people, some of them smart, but some of them want to get back. So I'll put him back.
Well, who did I run into? I ran into my man Norman Smith and Keith Holmes. Both of them professional boxers. Both of them retired, then they came back, then they retired again, then they came back, then they retired again, now they're back. So, Norman Smith, professional fighter. My main man, Keith Holmes, WBC, WBA middleweight champion of the world.
Y'all know Keith Holmes, that beat up Bernard, but they took the fight, right?
Let me see if they want to come back and maybe I can put them together.
I think y'all should fight each other. I'm paying.
We've been a sponsor.
Look, watch this, Smoke. I'm gonna give them $250,000 a piece for 4 rounds.
Yeah, we'll take that. I told we been a sponsor.
Everything has a price on it.
Boxers never retire.
So as the evening went on, we had to go back and check on Kevin because he was about to fight. So we went back there to see how he was doing, if he was ready, getting ready to do his thing in the ring. Right before you enter the ring, at the very moment when you're about to be called to the ring, your mind is so focused on your opponent. You're thinking about which hand you're going to knock him out with. You know, you don't hear nothing else around you. Nothing else matters but just knowing that you're going to get in that ring and do your thing.
Jay Smooth is in the house. Is you ready, Jay? Is you ready? Is you ready, Smooth? Jay Smooth is in the house. Jay Smooth is in the house. Jay Smooth is in the house.
So here it is, the ring walk. This is the most exciting moment of a fighter's moment of that night. So you walk into the ring and on your mind you're thinking to yourself, did I do enough? Am I in shape? What's gonna happen? All these things go run through your mind, the negative and the positive. But you know what? At the end of the day, the positive overcome because you know you sit there and you say to myself, you know what? I did do enough. I'm gonna knock this person out and I'm gonna get another win on my record.
Legendary Baltimore Park, Maryland. Please welcome back Kevin.
You're in the ring. Here it is. It's go time. No one else is in there with you but you. The trainers can't help you. The ref can't help you. It's either do or die.
Good body, good body. Here you go. Here you go. Back downstairs, babe. Uppercut. There you go. There you go. There you go, Kev. There you go. There you go. Come on in. Come on in. Yeah, there you go.
I told you, those Isroids kicked in.
Man, Kevin just knocked this dude out, man. We got a lot more work to do, but I'm excited. But it was clean. One shot to the body, one shot to the head, and it was over just like that.
Yes, sir.
First round knockout again. This time it wasn't a headbutt. It was all clean. Hit him to the head, hit him to the body. Guy went down twice, not once, twice, and called it quits. Told you, those Isroids kicked in.
35 seconds of the very first round. And his quest for ring greatness continued right here tonight. Kevin
I am so proud of Kevin. You know, the crazy thing about it is that he wanted to go pro a long time ago, and his trainers and his family members told him he should wait, he should stay amateur, but he knew in his mind that he wanted to go pro, and he surely showed everybody that he was ready for it. So I'm gonna go back and holler at Kevin, see how he felt about his win. So here we are with Kevin Rivers. He just got out of the ring. First round knockout. I think it was the Isroids. So how did you feel?
I feel wonderful. Conditioning as well, working with Isra. Stay focused, stay humble, stay obedient. Did what I had to do. Well, executed tonight.
You know, you looked like you were keeping your distance, you know, throwing your jab a little bit more, because usually when I see you fight, you're fighting on the inside a lot. This time you kind of stayed a little bit back and used your range. You know, how was that transition?
The transition, I mean, I'm a boxer. I mean, I need to stick to what I do. I work off my jab. I need to continue to stick to that. I mean, the inside work, I'm good. I can fight inside.
Oh, I know, yeah.
But I mean, I need to stay boxing. I mean,
Yeah.
as you can see, the outcome.
Yeah, but you know, I know that in the inside.
God damn it.
Hold on.
Listen, this is a bad man right here. Did you get the fight? I hope y'all got the fight, because I'm gonna tell you right now, you're looking at a future featherweight champion. Pacquiao probably retired.
Right.
Well, we gotta get you some social media and some more followers. But we gonna get that. We gonna get a whole lot of following. Y'all gonna pay to come see this man fight.
In the amateurs, I know that you were on the inside a lot, and you were hurting a lot of guys on the inside. And you can fight on the inside real well, but you are a boxer.
Yeah,
that's your thing.
That's
It's the outside, and you did it so well today. You know, and I commend you, because you know, this fight looks so easy for you compared to the last fight.
Yeah.
Did you feel different?
Yeah, I feel a whole lot different. Whole lot different. I feel way stronger.
Yeah.
Everything. It all came together.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So now 3-0.
3-0.
How many knockouts?
2. First round.
All right, first round. Okay, we're gonna collect some more, right?
Keep
Okay.
coming,
All right. Well, good fight. Congratulations.
Thanks,
All right.
Am I excited about Kevin's win? Absolutely. But we got more work to do. You know, I think this guy has a lot of time, a lot of skill. But you know, as we continue to move, the competition is gonna get a lot better. The competition may be gonna get a lot stronger. It's gonna get a lot bigger. So we have to do a lot of work.
He's getting so much better as each fight goes on. I can see it in his style. Keep watching.
I'm still upset about that damn headbutt, man.
I know, things happen though.
Yeah. That headbutt was mean. All that work and get a headbutt in 16 seconds.
Man, that jump was serious, man. Look at that jump, Bob. The nigga headbutt me, he was scared from the get-go. He talking all that trash at the weigh-ins, man. You know, talking about he came out here by himself, man. Yeah, he wasn't really ready to handle business. And I was ready to handle business and do my thing, but he wasn't. So, I mean, it be like that sometimes.
One thing about going to these fights, not only in the DC metropolitan area, but other cities and states, is that it brings out the best of the best athletes, the up-and-coming prospects in boxing. And lo and behold, who do I bump into? Nationally ranked Lamont Roach. This right here is the future of professional boxing. He's going to be the next, what weight class?
Probably 26.
26, featherweight, champion of the world. I'm telling you, he's going to be the undisputed, mark my words, undisputed, all belts, all the ABCs, DEFs, all the belts, this one right here. And so he's only 17 right now, but he is going to be, as soon as he turns pro, he's going to be the undisputed champion right here. Don't forget, Lamont Roach. Say a few words.
Hey man, I'm Lamont Roach, and you know, it's exactly what you said. I'm going to do my work. I'm young right now, but when I come up, just know you're going to hear about me. That's all I have to say for now.
Don't forget about us little people.
Yeah, don't forget about the little people. We're making big noise.
Seriously, keep watching for him. Lamont Roach. He's gonna shock the world once he goes pro. But let me tell you, it runs in the family. Now I'm gonna introduce you to one of the greatest trainers ever, Mr. Bernard Roach. You had 2 fantastic victories today, and how do you do it? How do you stay so stress-free in these times?
A lot of times what happens in the gym, we work on certain things, and it's a trust factor. The kids trust me in what I tell them, so it makes the job easier. But the problem is when you have a kid that don't trust what you say, then it makes your job difficult in the corner. They believe in me, and I tell them to thank you for believing in me. Like I told Kevin last night at the weigh-in. I told him, man, I thank God for you, and I thank you for believing what I'm telling you and what we're doing, because when we first started off, we had a little hurdle. He wasn't trusting and believing what I was telling him. So he would win 4 or 5 fights straight and then lose one he's supposed to win. And it was only the trust factor. But since we got past the trust factor, it's not a problem. So that's why I don't have a real problem in the corner. I'm so relaxed because we do all the hard work in the gym.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, you've been doing this for how long? We're not going to tell your age, but how long have you been doing this?
24 years.
24 years. Yeah. That's awesome. And let me tell you, the end of my career was very peaceful, very loving, and you need that in your corner. You need like a strong corner to be like, allow you to just do what you do in the ring. And I want to thank you for the last few years of my career, and just being able to like mentally and physically be able to do what I did because of you, because of the trust that I had in you. And with me, when I was a boxer, I was very loyal. I'm a loyal boxer regardless of what may happen. I trust in my trainers, and I know that bond is very, very important in boxing. And you, of all people, like, I know that you are selfless in boxing, and you don't find a whole lot of selfless trainers in this industry. So this right here is a gem. I'm telling you, it's a diamond in the rough, because you can't find those trainers around. And you know, it's hard being a fighter and being able to just wholeheartedly trust your team. So, you know, I love what you do. I love your gym. I love everything that, you know, you stand for. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for who you are and what you do with fighters and what you did for me. So, you know, I want you to just, you know, share with the camera that, you know, why and how you do it, you know, because boxing is just a hard sport, you know, politic-wise. So.
Well, one of the reasons, the major reason I do it is I've been a fireman now, going on my 23rd year, and I see a lot of young cats die that had just some potential career. I've been around boxing now for 40 years, since I was 8 years old. I'm 48 years old, and I just thank God just for this opportunity, and just being a blessing to Israel and receiving a blessing. See, people think you're always giving. Even when you give, you give. You know what I mean? And I got good results, so she gave it back to me. So it's called fair exchange, no robbery. And I love her. I love her. I love her husband. I love her kids. Because guess what? She took me to the next level. So the same thing that I taught her, I'm giving it to the other people. And it's continued to work. As you can see, there's Kevin Rivers in his first round knockout, hitting the guys with certain punches that nobody teaches no more. But I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for this moment. I'm thankful for this interview. Thank you. God bless you as well.
I want to say one more thing. Earlier we saw Coach Roach dancing, and he still got it. He's 48 years old, but he still stays in shape. So don't get it twisted. He can still get in there and fight with the best of us. I'm telling you, he got a good left straight hand. I felt it before.
Well, as you can see, guys, we had a great night of boxing. Both of our guys won. One headbutt, one knockout. Hey, we take it. But stay tuned to next week.
And don't forget about those Isroids and Dwight.
And who?
Dwight.
Who's it?
Dwight around your lips.
Hey, what's happening? This is Marty Wynn. Follow me at Marty Wynn online.
And me at IG Wynn.
Also follow us at Net Stage Live.
See you next week.
Got Platinum Senior Vice President Marty Wynn serving.
It's Christmas time. I'm sneaking around the house. They left some cookies downstairs for me to eat.